Welcome back to Champions League Week 3. We have another 18 games to go through on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're going to give a score with my dad for every single one.
36 teams involved. This tournament is so good, I think we should live stream it.
Okay, let's just do live streams on the main channel. Tuesday, Wednesday, be there or be a square. I'm not talking about VAR. What's the first game?
The first game is 13 points to Thogden, 14 points to Thogdad. I beat you again, Theo.
1 point
you're
though.
supposed to know about this
1 point,
tournament.
Dad.
Monaco against Cervena Zvezda, better
Okay.
known as Red Star Belgrade. You've got a French team who's unbeaten against a Serbian team that's lost their first 2 games. And these two sides played, I think it was 2 years ago. Monaco won them both.
Yeah, Monaco are now even better. They're pushing PSG for a league title race. Whilst they're still unbeaten in the Champions League, which is unbelievable. Their win being against Barcelona at home, 2-1. They've got a really good youthful squad under Adolf Hutter, who's a great manager too from Austria.
Absolutely, Theo. Now look at Red Star's record in this tournament recently. Last 12 games, drawn 1 and lost 11. And it gets even worse away from home. Lost 11 in a row. So surely a massive Monaco win.
Well, with players like Ben Seguir, who's the pride of Morocco, and then on the other side, you've got the Algerian French winger called Akliouche, who plays for the under-21s. And then you've got Balogun, who's they signed for 30 million from Arsenal, and he's already got 3 goals in his last 3 starts for the club. So clearly, if Adolf plays those boys, they're going to have some fun. I think Monaco will edge out Red Star Belgrade with a 2-1 win.
Do you know what, Theo? You are being very careful with that prediction. I think it's going to be 3-0 to the Monaco. AC Milan against Club Brugge. This is Italy against Belgium. 2 cities with amazing architecture. I particularly like that tower in Bruges, Theo, but do not climb up it if you've got health problems.
There you go. Well, this one's at the San Siro, so we don't have to talk about that. AC Milan have terrible start in the Champions League. With 2 defeats, one of which being Leverkusen, the other being Liverpool. So understandable in a way. In the Serie A, I'd say it's mixed form. They've got 4 wins from their last 5. They won the derby day. Christian Pulisic has been the man on fire. He's got 6 goals and 2 assists from 9 appearances, clearly finding his feet in the Serie A. Will he be the man to dominate this Bruges team?
Well, he could, Theo. Bruges have got some history here, and it's fairly positive. 1990 and 2003. I'm going back a bit, but they kept clean sheets, and they're actually a very good away team in this tournament.
Absolutely. Well, Milan at home are excellent. They actually produce over 2.5 goals in 5 of their last 6 San Siro fixtures. And talking about Bruges, it seems to be Vanaken who's the man who picks up goals and assists away from home. But they've dropped 7 points off the title race in Belgium, so they're not even the best in their own league right now. But that's probably because they have to weigh up Champions League fixtures. They might have a chance this game because the away team has won this fixture 1-0 in the last 3 head-to-heads.
Wow.
So going by history, maybe they'll win it 1-0, but I don't think so. I think Milan, they need the Champions League points whilst they still sit on 0. I'm going for a 3-0 win.
Do you know what, Theo? You cannot bet against AC Milan in this one. 2-0 to the Italians. Arsenal against Shakhtar Donetsk. Theo, this is England against Ukraine, and this is a fixture normally won by the home side. And you look at Arsenal's home record in this tournament: 1-8, drawn 1, lost none over I think the last 9 years. You've got to back the Arsenal.
Yeah, you do, especially when you hear that the Ukrainians have had 7 trips to London for European fixtures and they're winless in 7.
Yes.
So it's hard for us to sit here and give them any opportunity of a win because Arsenal are on fire. They're unbeaten in 9 Champions League home games. Their injury room is recovering. Bukayo Saka will return. Timber and Saliba, well, he's suspended, but not in the Champions League. So they will go full throttle. I think they'll smash them. There'll be something in their belly. I'm going to go 4-0 to the Gunners. I think they're going to gun down the Ukrainians, no doubt about it.
That is a big shout. Now, Shakhtar have not scored in this tournament yet over 3 hours, and going to the Emirates is a difficult place to go. Arsenal have got to bounce back from that Bournemouth defeat. What a shocker that was. This will be 3-0 to the Gunners. Juventus against Stuttgart. Now that is Italy against Germany, and what a brilliant start Juventus have made.
Amazing.
Scored 3 goals in both games, won them both. Can they make it 3 in a row?
I think they can. Thiago Motta's cooking something, not just in Europe, but also in Serie A. Well, they were forced from sitting out the Champions League, and now they've gone to Leipzig, whilst with 10 men, it was 1-1 in 59th minute. They went and won that game 3-2.
Yeah.
I struggle to back Stuttgart. They just got caned 4-0 by Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Kane hat-trick. I think they'll suffer with another defeat here.
They're going to struggle. They're not a bad side, Stuttgart, but you know what? Their record in Italy, absolutely.
He's wearing the badge as well.
Their record in Italy, they've not won a game there since 1979 when I was a boy. That was against Torino.
Well, Dad, you're wearing the shirt after they won the Serie A because that is the Scudetto right there.
Yes, yes.
And they'll be going for it again. But we're talking European football here, and I think Juve are going to win 1-0, Vlahovic to score.
It's going to be 2-0 to Juventus. Sturm Graz of Austria against Sporting Club de Portugal, two teams with differing form in this tournament. Now, the Austrians, Theo, have lost 2 out of 2. Sporting have won 1 and lost 1. Surely an away win.
On paper, the team is much better. The Portuguese has come strong. They're unbeaten since the 3rd of August. They've got big Vic Gyok firing for club and country. He even scored for Sweden in the international break. Let's give some credit to Sturm Graz. They just won their derby day 5-2 against Graz at AK, who are bottom of the league, but you still have to beat what's in front of you. The week before, they scored 5 goals in a 5-0 win over RB Salzburg. So clearly, they are the pride of Austria right now.
Yes.
But against the pride of Portugal, top of the league, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to go for a tight 2-1 win for the Portuguese. And bear in mind, Sturm are not playing at home. They're playing in a bigger stadium because of UEFA ruling, which will affect them a little bit.
Sturm Graz 1, Sporting Club de Portugal 2. Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund. According to some people, this is the fixture of the week, Theo. It's a repeat of the final at Wembley, which was won by Real Madrid 2-0. Now, before you assume this is going to be a massive home win, Real Madrid lost to Lyon.
Yeah, 5 months since the Champions League final, which I visited. Now, Nuri Sahin will have to not make the mistake that Edin Terzic did, because let's be honest, Borussia Dortmund dominated that Champions League final and they still came away with a loss. And I don't know what it was, maybe because of the pressure in the final, whatever was said at half-time when it was a draw. Clearly, something didn't come off because Real Madrid punished them with that second half. Vinny Jr. being set up by Jude Bellingham with a winning goal. We're looking at another fixture here at the Bernabeu, and we can't ignore the facts. Los Blancos haven't lost a Champions League home game since April 2022. Very tough place to go, isn't it?
It is, and Borussia Dortmund have found that. No wins, 2 draws and 5 defeats at this ground, Theo. Do they have any chance here?
They do. They'll have belief. They have a young squad. Bino Gittins has got 2 assists in the last 2 games. Karim Adeyemi, exciting player. And look, let's not forget that they battered Celtic last out in the Champions League 7-1.
Painful.
They can come here with almost like looking for revenge for the Champions League final. And Real Madrid, their last Champions League game, they lost to Kylian's brother Ethan Mbappe's team, Lille.
I know.
So it's a funny old story. But now they have Kylian back, and he did well with that amazing finish against Celta Vigo in their 2-1 win. But Real Madrid will have one eye on the El Clasico on the weekend too, so maybe not fully going into tackles because they don't want to get too injured or too hurt. I just think Real Madrid are better. They're going to win 3-1.
2-1 to Real Madrid.
Okay.
Paris Saint-Germain against PSV Eindhoven meet for the very first time, Theo, and both of these sides will be really disappointed with their starts in the group. Now, PSG lost at the Emirates. You can talk a little bit about that, but
I don't need to. I was there, but I don't need to. Thierry Henry summed it up. There is not a French team right now that's good enough to compete with the European best teams like Arsenal.
Wow. That is very harsh words from our neighbour. But Theo, I want you to look at PSG's home record in this tournament. 129, drawn 7, lost 1. The only defeat over the last few years to Man United at home.
That's interesting. Well, look, let's first talk about PSG. It's a different era now without Kylian Mbappe. They've got Kolo Muani. They've got Lee Kang-in, players that seem to perform in the French league, but the Champions League, it's a step too far yet. But one player that has been shining in the Champions League for them is Hakimi. He's created more chances from open play than any other player, which is insane. You think about the 36 teams. There's actually 30 chances he's created.
Now, PSV's record in this tournament away from home is very poor, and they've got 1 point out of 6 possible points already. Do you know what? PSG 2, PSV 0.
PSG 2, PSV 1.
Girona against Slovan Bratislava are meeting for the first time. This is the game everyone is talking about.
Yeah.
So you know what, Theo? We should devote a lot of time to this game.
Oh yeah, guys.
Girona, let's give you a little fact. 3 own goals in 2 games.
Smash the like if you're going to be not watching this game. We're going to get everyone liking now. That was really good intelligence.
You should actually go to this game. Slovan Bratislava, you might not know this. They have European silverware.
Look.
The European Cup Winners' Cup 1969. They won it.
Well, listen, the White and Reds are in free fall. They just lost 1-0 to Real Sociedad. They sold off most of their best players. Their City group owned their own by Man City, pretty much. And this year, they just can't compete. And Danny van der Beek has a curse. Every time he scores, the team end up losing with his new club. It happened again. Yeah. He scored against Feyenoord, and they went on to lose that fixture. And that's against his enemies, his Dutch enemies. He was an Ajax player. You guys know the rivalry. But having said all that, I think they'll pull out a win. Because Slovan Bratislava at home, I think you could play up top for Girona and score a couple here. 2-1 to the White and Reds.
Do you know what? Slovan Bratislava have lost the last 5 in the Champions League. I'm afraid it's going to be 6. Girona to win, 2-0.
Sorry to the Slovenians.
Aston Villa against Bologna, now England against Italy. Villa meeting a team that they never faced before. Now it's all starting really well. Villa have not conceded a goal. They've scored 4. They've got 6 points. Couldn't be better, could it?
It's unbelievable, and they've just come away with a 3-1 win in Fulham, Craven Cottage. Unai Emery is just figuring it out, and during international break, he didn't miss too many players as well. Emi Martinez didn't go back to Argentina, for example. And look, Morgan Rogers is actually registered more successful take-ons and dribbles in the Champions League more than any other player. That's 9 from 2 games.
Yes.
So he'll be licking his lips, hoping to play in this one again.
Absolutely. Now, Bologna have not scored in this tournament yet. Over 3 hours, they went to Anfield, lost 2-0. I suppose that's creditable, isn't it, Theo?
Yeah.
Do they have any chance here? And can Villa get a 3rd win?
Dad, I'll be honest with you, the only chance of any team winning in Birmingham that night is Bolton, who are also playing at the same time at St Andrews. So I think one bowl team will win, the other bowl will lose. Bologna to lose 2-0 to Aston Villa. I'm sorry. John Duran is going to find a way.
This is going to be Aston Villa 1, Bologna 0. Atalanta against Glasgow. Celtic is Italy against Scotland. 2 more teams who have never met before. Now, Atalanta last time round absolutely battered Shakhtar on neutral ground, didn't they, Theo?
Yeah, they did. It was a force to be reckoned with. It was a great result. And now they've scored in 10 goals in the last 3 matches, winning all 3. Atalanta. They have been running away with it, struggling to hold clean sheets in the Serie A, but so far in the Champions League, they haven't conceded, even with a 0-0 against Aston.
It's 4 in a row, Theo.
Yeah.
The last 4 Champions League games, that's 6 hours of football.
Wow.
They have not conceded. So can Glasgow Celtic change that? Because the last 7 times they've gone to Italy, they've lost every single one.
Well, I mean, look, Ademola Lookman will be looking forward to this fixture because he's got 15 goals of his 19 at home. So will Retegui, the Italian forward. He's got 6 goals in 4 games, including a hat-trick at home to Genoa. In fact, I'm going to put it out there, I think he will score. Celtic have been leaking a lot of goals. In their last 4 European away games, an average of 4.17 goals conceded. That's very, very bad.
You know, wherever Celtic go in Europe, there are goals, aren't there? They've scored 6 and they've conceded 8. So that is quite ridiculous. I think this is a tough one. It's going to be Atalanta 3, Celtic 0.
I'm going for a 6-goal thriller. I think Celtic will turn up with goals, but they'll concede double of that. 4-2.
Brest against Bayer Leverkusen, Theo, is 2nd against 4th in this group
Wow,
of 36
they're smashing
teams.
it.
Now, last time round, Brest went to Salzburg, Theo,
Yes.
and the hills were alive with the singing of the massive Brest, of the Brest Massive.
What are you on about? I don't know where to go from here. All I do know is my sister's name is Seema, and she is banging in the goals, or should I say he, because they share the same name. He's got 3 goals in the 2 opening Champions League matches for Brest, helping them stay what is 2nd in a 36-team table. Who believed that from the Frenchman? They're smashing it. But you can't ignore, it is hurting their Ligue 1 form where they sit mid-table. But Leverkusen, they will come here with hope. They've been very strong away. They just drew 1-1 at the Allianz Arena against Bayern Munich, and they beat Feyenoord 4-0. Florian Wirtz with a brace that day. Now, Boniface has got back to scoring after his terrible experience on the national team over in Libya. I think they're going to win this 3-1.
Wow. Now, Bayer Leverkusen, the last 3 games in the UCL have not conceded a single goal. It's going to be a tough one for Brest. Brest 1, Leverkusen 2. RB Leipzig against Liverpool. Now 2 teams with contrasting form in this tournament. Leipzig, the Germans, have lost 2. Liverpool have won 2. Now this is a repeat of what happened in the last 16 in 2021. And Liverpool won 2-0 both times.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's a difficult place to go there in East Germany, and they've got a fire in their belly because they've conceded both by 1 goal in the last 2 fixtures. They sit on 0 points in the Champions League, RB Leipzig.
Yeah.
So what have they done? They went and hired the head of director, the new boy, Jurgen Klopp. He's come in and he's gonna get a result against his old best mates. Will they love him so much now that he's gone to RB Leipzig? Well, I know this club are very upset about it. He's a Dortmund legend, not so much anymore. You can't go to the Red Bull. I won't say what they call it out in Germany. If you research up on that, why they hate them so much, but will it help them, Dad? Will Leipzig come in with a result finally? Well,
I tell you what, they will know all about the Liverpool team, won't they? Because of Jurgen Klopp. But you look at Liverpool, they've made a great start to this campaign, Theo. They've won this tournament, what is it, 6 times now?
They have,
So they are, the granddaddies of the European Cup and the UCL.
I think Leipzig are due points in the Champions League. If they don't win it now, I can't really see them coming back. I'm going to say Leipzig turn up with 2 goals, and so will Liverpool. 2-2 draw.
Do you know what? I think it's very sensible, but I'm going to go close to that. RB Leipzig 1, Liverpool 2.
Wow.
Manchester City against Sparta. Prague is 8th against 10th in the group there. But look at Manchester City's record in this tournament. They've now gone 25 games in the tournament without defeat. Forget penalties for a minute. And at home, won 28 and drawn 4. So
That's
they
impressive.
could make it 33 home games without defeat.
Well, we were live together when Wolves held Man City right to the very end with a 1-1 draw. They even scored first. The team bottom of the Premier League against the team looking to go top, but they were second at the time. And then John Stones turned up with that final chance from the corner.
Yes.
Brilliant header, beat Jose Sarr, ran over to the away end and just soaked it all in, eh?
He
Forward.
did.
I just don't know how Man City always find a way.
Do you know, that is the sign of a team with real quality. You play right to the 98th minute. However long it goes on, you can get a very late goal. And by the way, was VAR right there? Because I think it was.
I think it
for
was.
me, that's a goal all day long.
Yeah, when you look at it back, I think it's a goal. But look, let's go back to the Champions League. They've got Sparta Prague at home, which probably is a little bit of an easier fixture.
It is.
Knowing they're back at Etihad, knowing they're unbeaten in 11 all comps so far with Pep shining. Ilkay Gundogan's about to play his 100th Champions League appearance. He scored at Slovan Bratislava away. Will he score here? I think he'll get one actually if he plays, because I think Man City are going to win 4-0.
I think they'll score 4. I agree with you. 4-0 to City.
Yeah, if Sparta were to get one, it'd be Victor Olatunji, the Nigerian striker who's got 3 goals so far. I went to the Prague derby and Slavia did the better of them, so it's hard for us to predict anything but the battering of 4-0 that we agree on.
FC Barcelona against Bayern Munich is another contender for game of the week. 2 teams who are stumbling a little bit in this tournament.
Yes.
But look at Bayern Munich's record against Barcelona, Theo. The last 6 games, scored 22 goals, won them all.
Good point. Very good point. This is definitely the game of the Wednesday fixtures.
Yes.
So good we might live stream it. Stay tuned on the main channel. Get notifications on. I want everybody in there. This is Lamine Yamal up against, well, Harry Kane and Thomas Müller and the rest of the boys. It's the old number 9 of Bayern against the new number 9 of Bayern. It's the old Bayern manager, even assistant manager, against the new Bayern manager, Hansi Flick against Vincent Kompany. So many crossovers. Look, let's start off with Barcelona. They have to play a lot of youth because of the financial fair play, but under Flick, they are cooking. Players like Pablo Torre, who just went and scored a brace at home Sevilla in their 5-1 win.
And he only came on in, 76th minute, didn't he?
Incredible. Yeah, I don't know how they're producing all these talents. They all look the same. They're all Spanish. They're all about 5'9", and they're all smashing it for this team. So fair enough. And it's almost like when you're forced into playing the youth, they just turn up.
Yeah. Do you know what? Hansi Flick, you mentioned him a couple of times, Theo. 20 games in the UCL, 17 wins. That is an 85% win percentage.
Good point.
So can Barcelona, it's a bit of juju, isn't it, against Bayern Munich? Can they overcome that?
It's actually funny. Both these two teams have had one game that they really should have won that they've lost, and one game that they smashed.
I know.
Barca 2, Bayern 2.
Do you know what, Theo? I'm just going to agree with you there. I think the
Really?
Aston Villa result against Bayern was incredible. Atletico Madrid and Lille are 2 teams who've won one and lost one already, Theo. But Atletico Madrid at home in the UCL, they've won the last 6. So you've got to go with a home win, surely.
Yeah, surely, Dad. I mean, look, we were live when Atletico were playing Leganes at home, actually last night.
Yeah.
And they were 1-0 down. And I was thinking, what is going on at the Wanda? And then Sorloth turned up with a brace. But the man who really dropped a masterclass, he was about to be sent off. Then VAR dismissed it. Antoine Griezmann.
Yes.
The Frenchman. He is on top form. He got a couple assists. He was the main man, got a very high score rating, smashed it against Leganes, man of the match. Now he's playing French opposition at home. I just have a feeling with the Champions League form that man brings to the table, I think he's got like 47 goals in the Champions League ever. He's got to get another, surely.
He's an incredible player, Theo, but let's not write off Lille, because who did they beat in match day 2?
Good point.
Real Madrid.
Ethan
Having said
Mbappe
that,
beating Kylian Mbappe. What a story.
I know, that is superb, but take the home and away thing, because Lille away from home in this tournament, 1-2 draw none, and lost 6. So that is a bit of a problem, Theo. For that reason, I'm going to go with a narrow home win. Atletico Madrid, 1-0.
Yeah, I understand that because Atleti have only lost once in 15 matches to French opposition, but they did go to Portugal and lose quite badly to Benfica. That 4-0 smashing, Di Maria just destroyed them. So they need to bounce back with a win. I think they will get it. A tight 2-1 victory over Lille. Sorry, Jonathan David.
RB Salzburg against Dinamo Zagreb are 2 teams who are really struggling to say in this tournament, aren't they, Theo? I mean, RB Salzburg slapped around by a rampant Brest in the last round. I think they've now lost 5 in a row at home, Theo. What's going to happen here?
Yeah, it's a tough call. This is the one that everybody's excited for, RB Salzburg. Well, they did have 2 heavy defeats in their last 3 games, but they recovered it after an incredible comeback from Karim Konate, got a goal and assist in the 84th and 87th minute. I think they're going to get another 2-1 win. It's going to be tight, and watch out for Dinamo Zagreb's battering. Their new number 10, the 21-year-old, he's brilliant.
Yeah, again, Theo, it comes down to the away record of Dinamo Zagreb. Not too bad at home. Away from home, last 7, drawn 2 and lost 5. And for that reason, I'm kind of going to agree with you. I'm going to go 1-0 to the Austrians. Benfica against Feyenoord is Portugal against the Netherlands, and the Portuguese flying high in this tournament. They are 3rd at the moment, Theo. Talk me through this one.
Oh, well, Benfica flying high, 4-0 win. Last time out at home to Atleti. The fans will be fired up.
You know what
to
that
keep
deserves?
Up. What?
Smashed, smashed, smashed.
They really did it. And it was Di Maria, their main man, who used to play for Real Madrid, to do it against their old Madrid rivals. And now they've got what is an easier fixture on paper against Feyenoord, but I don't think it will be, because the Dutchmen will turn up with belief.
You're right, Theo. A great win for Feyenoord away at Girona, but surely Benfica, tougher opponents.
It is. Well, it's hard to look at the Dutch league performances and actually judge it in any comparison, because they went away go-ahead Eagles and won 5-1, but what does that really mean? At least Hwang Kim Byom, our boy, the one that I met at the South Korea Asian Cup, used to play for Red Star. He's fitting in well, the central midfielder, into that new Feyenoord setup. And actually, on loan from Brighton, the Ghanaian winger Ibrahim Osman dropped a masterclass in that fixture that I just mentioned. So they're coming in with good form, but they're a hefty difference from PSV in the Dutch league. I think Pavlidis is about to score the winner in a 2-1 win.
Do you know what? I'm going to up you with that one. I'm going to go 3-1 to the Portuguese. And finally, Young Boys against Inter Milan, possibly the biggest mismatch of the day, because Young Boys, Theo, bottom of the 36 group, Theo.
They ended a 3-game losing streak with a tight 2-1 win of their Swiss opposition. They needed that, and it was Cedric Itten, the man with a winning goal, the ex-Rangers forward, the big target lad. But they're playing Inter, who just came off a huge 1-0 away win against Roma, putting them back in that title race chase against Juventus and Napoli. And Inter, they need to kick on here. They did a 0-0 against Man City away, which is a great result. Barella worked so hard that day. And Lautaro's now scored 2 goals in 2. I think he'll make it 3-3. I see Inter winning this 2-0.
Wow, it's a very big shout, because in the last 3 games, Inter Milan drawn 2 and lost 1. But they are the clean sheet specialists of this tournament. And for that reason, Young Boys 0, Inter Milan 2.
And that is Champions League match day 3 complete. Thogdad, enjoy. Get on the live streams on the main channel. This is going to be a great midweek of football. See you all there.